Like I've got everything situated, but it's always a gamble once I press that go live button, and then I'll like, oh, I forgot to do this, or I should have done that, or like that didn't work. Gosh darn.
I was in here earlier and I don't know what happened, and everything fell. This fell, and then it knocked down everything behind it, and then all the stuff on the wall, and the people down the street fell too. Everything fell, and I'm like, what the heck is going on now?
Well, Mercury retrograde starts Saturday. It actually starts late tomorrow night, but I think it's already in retrograde because I can just always tell because like my life goes to hell and back. Like I went on vacation for a week, come back, my work computer's broken. And we have a surprise ops review that I needed. All the slides I needed were in my computer. That did not work. Then they tried to go after 3 days of not being able to work. And then I go to the IQ bar at work for them to give me a loaner computer. Every single computer they picked up was broken.
Yeah, it's here. It's got to be here.
It's here. I was like, yeah, it's high Mercury retrograde. Just show your butt. Show your whole butt. Oh my gosh. Autumn and Johnny, thank you both so much for joining tonight.
Thank you for the invitation. This is wonderful.
I appreciate it. I feel like there's topics I've been wanting to dive into because at first I was like, I'm not going to have any topics. Then I was like, no, there's like 18 things I've been really nosy about. Let's pull some friends along and let's dive into it. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you to everybody who is joining us tonight. Thanks to all the mods who are in the chat. I see Lucky Girl, Good Vibes, Joe, Ninny, Robin, Kate, Chris. Hey, y'all. Welcome. We're going to give it just another minute, and then we will kick it off because we've got some pretty cat-snatching, darn good questions. Yeah. Y'all know how we do over here.
Notes. I didn't come prepared with notes.
You came prepared with some questions, though. So that's all. That's the most important thing. That's all that matters. Johnny and Autumn, do you guys have any Memorial Day plans for any weekend plans?
I do the same thing every single day. So I'm no fun. I have a noon live stream. I have a 4:00 writing group.
But the consistency is fun. That doesn't mean it's not.
I like it. But as far as like, how's your life? The same.
Shoot. That means everything's going, as my brother-in-law says, that means you're maintaining and everything is good. Everything is good. Thank you so much, Chris, for the super chat. May that generosity be returned to you tenfold. Johnny, any plans for this weekend?
Just Tony's live stream. That's about it.
That's it. When is this? Is that tomorrow night?
That is Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday at 4 Pacific, and everybody else do your own math. But
4.
yes, that'll be her very first live stream.
Yes. I remember she sent me the email, but then she never came back and told me the day that she chose and the time.
Oh, she told me you chose it.
What's funny is I replied back immediately because I was at the airport and I was like, oh, I can do this time, but don't plan it around me, see what everybody else did. So when you said 4 Saturday, so I was like, oh.
4 Saturday, 7 our time. She said Adrian chose the time. So we're on the same time thingy, so it's
That's too funny. So Saturday.
Yes.
You guys got to come back for live stream on, like Johnny said, this is going to be Tony's first live stream. Okay, I'm going to do it right this time. You guys know where to find Autumn every day on Black and Orange Tweet. I love, sometimes like I'll sneak and like when I have a lunch break and I can time it right around your live stream, I'm like, let me snarf down some food and see what Autumn's talking about today.
Thank you for that.
Or all our daytime streams, Lori and Autumn, you got to do my multitasking.
Yes.
It's like I don't say nothing, just hear it in the background and do whatever you're supposed to be doing.
I think I was walking out of something, Lori's the other day. I think it was like, not yesterday, was it Tuesday? I think her shame. And I was like catching the very end of it, and I was like walking, and I almost got like I'm glad no traffic's coming because I'm sitting here like watching Lori walking across the street. All right, y'all ready to dig in? Let's get this party started.
All right.
Let's start with America's least favorite second banana, Mr. Penitentiary Pence, as Johnny likes to call him. He's been, so those of you who are aware, or not aware, he's been trying to do a lot of work behind the scenes with different, they're all financial groups, all of these high influencers to, in his words, rectify the Republican Party from the underneath mother's girdle, as I would like to call it, because he's doing it in private and he's doing it through people who, very interesting vested interests.
Racists and bigots and homophobes.
Basically, yeah. So we're going to call it that.
They tried to kill you.
They tried
to kill you.
Go ahead. Let's tell the tale, Autumn. They tried to kill you. So, is he getting any closer to a potential nomination for 2024? He's putting a lot into this behind the scenes. So will this pay off?
The energy's not good.
It's never good with penitentiary. Hence that fly, the infamous fly. John's got his petty face, so that's letting me know already. That's not going to work out well.
200 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. That's what it was.
200. And it's one of those grocery bags to get that you try to keep. You put in the plastic. You put in another grocery bag underneath the kitchen sink because you're going to trash bag later. Yeah, it's that level.
Ready when you are.
All right, whoever wants to go first.
Okay. Basically, no.
Yeah, okay.
He's got this in the center of the reading and the page as well. It's almost this naive, entitled, naive. Well, I am a good Christian man, and he does believe Jesus talks to him directly.
Yeah.
Directly. And anyway, if it was, influence or his teachings or but this is a whole different level of, it's just, he's got this very entitled, myopic view, very, what's his name? The Norman Rockwell himself was not a horrible racist, but that painting, what he's associated with, that
right
white America ideal, that's what Pence has in his head, and he's trying to get the message out there. But what's actually going to come back is the message about legal stuff to do with Trump world, and as far as his future goes, legal worry and voting worry and sit down.
He's gonna have to
have a seat.
Yeah.
Dead in the water. Absolutely dead in the water. It's like a naivete.
Yeah.
But it's more entitled than that.
Johnny, what you get?
Starts with the 7 of Swords. So there's some strategy working, the 9 of Wands. And I give it strategy instead of thievery because the 9 of Wands, he is still working behind the scenes to try to regain some footing in the political sphere. He is also probably waiting out for the Trump dinosaur to die, or Trump influence dinosaur to die. He is also working behind the scenes as for donors and things of that nature, with the 9 of Pentacles being here. So he's trying to gain strength and then sort of come out all at one time as the typical conservative instead of the Donald Trump conservative. There's the Page of Swords and the 7 of Wands, which means there is a bit of a lie. He is also going behind the scenes or going behind somebody's back. I think this may be them. All of them are actually lying to Trump's face at the moment. And, the emperor has no clothes, so he doesn't see that.
Right.
They're all saying, you're great, you're wonderful, we're going to build you up, and then they're going to pull the rug out from under him more than likely because he can't win again. But as far as the question goes, 8 of Cups. So he's walking away from that prospect. He still has some things to do.
Can I just throw in just one quick thing? Apparently, in mid-April, Pence had a pacemaker put in. And
Really?
apparently, on April 14th, he had surgery to install a pacemaker. And Trump, they're so close that Trump found out through the media.
I mean,
just want to throw that out there.
Would you? I didn't either. And would you call him though? Like, because all he's gonna do. I just had a pacemaker put in, and hey, Donnie, yeah, I'm okay, but I'm just feeling a little tightness in my chest. Yes, I know you. I know you want you want the election. Yes, I know you're in Mar-a-Lago. Yes, I know there's a witch hunt against you. Did you hear me say I just put a pacemaker in? Like, that's how the conversation would go. So why call him? Like, it's going to be all about him anyway.
He owns the best pacemakers. Yes. Nobody knows more about him than him.
Of course.
I should have done the surgery. I would have told you.
Oh my God.
Dios mío.
Lucky.
Go ahead.
Lucky girl is saying maybe now he'll get some color in him with blood circulation.
He's a vampire. Actually, he's not, because I like vampires. He's a zombie.
Yeah, and actually, I kind of like zombies, so let's not put zombies out there like that. I thought this Walking Dead.
He's a 200-pound bag of crap in a 5-pound bag. That's what he is.
That's been reused. That's a former grocery bag that's at the bottom of your sink in a bag of other plastic.
He has no shame and no Christianity.
None. Speaking of no shame, he's pulling up. These are the donors that he's pulling up with the 2 of Cups. Everybody he's trying to get this money from. However, his challenge is the Hanged Man. Either he's going to be this. I think he's going to be the sacrifice. Actually, I think they're using him, his connections, and his what he knows and saw happen but didn't say anything against him. So he needs to watch his back. Base of this, Ace of Swords. And why I say he needs to watch his back, because at the base of this, you got Ace of Swords at the crown. You've got 5 of Wands, conflict. Again, he knows, he sees there's some truth coming out, and that's going to cause some fighting. He was trying to hold on in the past with the 4 of Pentacles. However, the rest just kind of tells us the same cat snatching story. Immediate future is the Queen of Pentacles, and the emotions is this major change, probably when he finds out that they're going to use him for him against him, and he's not going to get any further. And the emotions is this Ace of Pentacles. So again, this is all about money, using this money. His word of warning, though, is the same institution he wants to get into, the Hierophant. I think just it's not going to work. There's this buddy club. And the outcome is the 6 of Pentacles, giving and sharing of information. I pulled some clarifiers, and I get 4 of Cups and the 5 of Swords. He's not going to get any further because they're going to get what they want, and he's going to get kicked off to the side. Wah, wah, wah.
They tried to kill you, your wife, and your child. And you are going back and sucking up to these people and wanting to go back into
They tried to kill you on national television.
They tried to kill your child.
Mm-hmm. They had a noose and the gallows waiting for you. And let's mention it's 2021. Why do we have the gallows? But that's beside the point. They tried to kill you.
And at that point, he was president at that point, because Donald Trump was somewhere hiding and sulking and whatever, because he lost and he couldn't do nothing about it. And that was his last ditch effort. Mike Pence was doing all the speeches. He was doing all the things that the president's supposed to do about the calming the nation and all this type of thing after the monstrosity we all witnessed. So you had some power at that moment to take some action, and you still didn't do it. So you have no standing with some of those middle of the road voters that would have voted for you or a conservative. You have no standing with the typical voters that vote for Republican because you stood behind Donald Trump all those years and then did nothing when all of his mind slaves rushed the Capitol. So there's some work that they need to do. I think they need to put somebody a little more polished out front than that 200-pound bag of crap in a 5-pound bag.
Grocery bag. Speaking of a 200-pound pile of crap, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh God!
I can't stand this woman. Please hold on a second.
RedLentilHealing.com.
Hold on, I got a double dose because now I need one more. Okay. All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene. Apparently she just got censured. Do you guys know about this?
She didn't. I looked it up.
Okay, because there's a dirty rumor that Mitch McConnell. Okay, so if you guys don't know, she went out and did another whole. It was either research. I think it was research. A whole bunch of stuff she said in the past is resurfaced. She's also gone back and said that trying to compare wearing masks to the Holocaust. Let's not go there, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Please, let's not go there. Let's not go there. And the whole wearing a mask is like wearing the yellow star on. Okay. So apparently that finally kind of pissed a few Republicans off, and they were getting ready to censure her. There was rumors about it, and they were going to talk to, Jace's favorite person, Mitch McConnell, to get ready to do it. So since she didn't, let's change the question. Will they actually censure her? Because they're pissed. Several Republicans are actually speaking out about this, which kind of shocked me a little bit. Because they tend to just let her talk crazy and get away with whatever she wants.
Well, I looked this up because I wanted to see just how close they came. And back at the beginning of February, there was a Resolution 83, censures Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and calls on her to resign from office. The latest action was back on February 1st, and it was referred to the House Committee on Ethics, and there's been nothing since. Mm-hmm. So, and now all this other stuff has happened, and there was something in the news floating about McCarthy thinking about expelling her, but I don't believe any of that.
Let's see. Will they finally do something? Will they
anything?
Will they do anything?
Will she reap any consequences for anything?
Well, let's see. Hold on.
This is exactly why I don't rule the world.
Because I would have pushed her out of the. I'm not gonna say window, but
I would have pushed her off the edge of the flat Earth she believes in.
There you go. Just let her float out in space.
And I can say that even though I'm not violent, just because it's not true. It's not real. It's not a real thing. Anyway, go ahead.
Here's what's bad. My cards tell me they should. My cards say, okay, here's what I know is going to happen, actually. They're not going, it could go either way. What are you getting, Johnny?
I get, no, not right now, but when it happens, it's going to happen all at once. Like everything in her life is going to come crumbling down at one time. I get the 2 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. So this is for the answer right now. So what we're reaching is an indecision. It's not really an indecision. The 2 of Swords is I don't want to make a decision. Indecision is like I have options and I don't know what to choose. This person is not going to do anything. Arms folded, blindfold, the whole thing. I'm not doing anything. So they see what they need to see, but they're trying to ignore it and play it out and let her do what she needs to do because she's causing enough commotion. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's the 5 of Wands. It causes a fight. There's a constant politics is getting in the way of this. And so this is one of them things. Page of Cups, surprise. tower. Big surprise. And so it's going to happen all at once. The devil is here with the 10 of Pentacles. She's doing the Republicans' work. So they need her for right now. The devil's their best friend, but it ends in the Wheel of Fortune, which means it's a matter of time.
A matter of time.
Unfortunately, she's still doing all her garbage in the meantime, but it's only a matter of time. And then her whole world changes all at once.
What you got, Autumn?
Her job is to be this attack dog, garbage, and they're going to walk away from anything to actually do what they should. It's center of the reading has to do with, and some extra cards are all cups. It has to do with the Democrats just ignoring her, just going about their business, just doing their thing. Don't feed the trolls. And they finally are just like, fine, we're not feeding the trolls. Fine, but the two end cards, the card for the reading is judgment, which she has bad judgment and she's always judging others. But I'm with you, Johnny. Her final two cards, Tower and Wheel of Fortune. When it goes, it's going to go hard and bad.
Yeah.
But the Republicans are once again profiles in cowardice.
And I'm going to co-sign on this because right now it starts for me with the major death, with the major change. Thank you, Shishi, and also thank you, Kathy, for the super chats. May that generosity be returned to you tenfold. However, it's crossed with the Two of Pentacles juggling. Why are they juggling? It's because she's doing their dirty work. They're not going to do what they need to do. There are a lot of people who are heartbroken. They want her gone. She's toxic. She's a Cancer. However, they're mentally stuck. They're trapped. They are mentally trapped. She brings something to them, but they know it's not good for them. And the environment, they need to take a step back. They need to reassess. Why is that? And their word of warning is them. Like that same thing, Johnny, the devil. That's them. And that's her. That's your word of warning. You are your word of warning. That's a hell of a statement. Okay. And because their inability to do anything, that's why I was thinking like it could go either way. But I'm thinking what you guys are saying, it's not yet. It's going to happen because she's going to continue to make them so burdened that something's going to have to give at some point.
And see, here's my thing. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene is just like Donald Trump. He is a symptom of a greater problem. She is a symptom of a greater problem. Their issue, from where I stand, is the 10 of Wands is going about this the hard way. He could do something different with these sticks. He's carrying them in front of him. They're going to constantly fall over. He's going to hurt his back. He's doing this the wrong way. There's a hard way to do things and an easy way to do things. If you want attention, this is not the way to do it. The reason I don't think it's the way to do it is because you have a Donald Trump problem right now that you let get out of hand. You let him control your party. What makes you think that the moment you want to cut her off, you can? Because you couldn't do it to him, and you probably can't do it to her either. So once her life hits that tower moment, then you'll probably be saved. But until then, she may gain enough strength to control your party too.
And then you're truly stuck, which is why that the devil card and the 10 of Wands were so prolific to me because I'm like, your problem is right here. You are your problem. You're going to burden yourself. Mm-hmm. I have a follow-up question to that if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Derail us, but I have a follow-up question. So y'all have been seeing MTG has been all up in AOC's face. There's been a lot of reports that she has been confronting her on the House floor, trying to start none. And we all know in these streets, if you start none, there shall be none. To the point, and then she'll try to start something with AOC. AOC doesn't give in. She's just taking the higher road, walks off. This has happened multiple times. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene uses that as a moment because she goes to the press and is like, oh, well, I was ready to confront her and AOC doesn't want to talk and she's a coward. Is AOC finally going to step up and say something or karate chop that ass? Because she's getting in her face. This isn't just words. She's actually physically also invading her space. At some point, I'm wondering, is AOC gonna, right here, how is AOC gonna respond? Or is she gonna continue to take the high ground? Because I don't think she realizes, Marjorie Taylor realizes it's backfiring on her. She's trying to point AOC to look a certain kind of way, but AOC's not playing that game. So she's coming out kind of, whether you like AOC or not, and I'm saying the Republicans, she's not getting into this.
Because Marjorie doesn't look tough. She looks nuts.
She looks nuts.
I mean, she looks even past a bully. She just looks nuts.
Yeah, she looks crazy. What do you got, Autumn?
The sense I get is when you were saying, will AOC do something? And what came into my head was, if she was older, she might. If she was just a little bit older, but she's young enough that it's ingrained for an early age, don't feed the trolls.
Yeah.
And so Marjorie Taylor Greene, this big death card here, this is the pageantry, Marjorie Troll Greene going back and forth, trying to make a stink, trying to, just be a mess. Meanwhile, AOC is like, I got stuff to do. Mm-hmm. Democrats are actually in power, which is the center here. So it's like she's a blowhard. But this is where it might get interesting. Because AOC might get to a point where she's had just about enough. Mm-hmm. And if she's not going to get in the troll's face, secretly, little something, little decision, some kind of little legal decision, or contacting dropping a little hint to someone. I don't know if it's in law enforcement or if there's something here where it's just just a little, just leave that there, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene gets in trouble. Mm-hmm. Big trouble.
Yeah.
But it's like, we'll never know it. We'll never know it was her, because it's going to be secret. It's going to be very subtle. That's what it looks like to me.
Which could explain why my outcome is the moon card. I could explain that. Yeah, the magician and the word of warning and the moon. She's got something. She's got a resource available at her disposal, but we may not see the outcome. Interesting. Johnny, what do you get?
Same thing. I get here in the media, it plays out one way with the world card. Mm-hmm. I get this is the long game. I won't say it, but it's not, don't take it to heart. I kind of think it's not that AOC wants this to happen. She's using it. Since you're in the situation, you might as well take advantage of what you can. So she can use it politically, because the Two of Wands is potential. So she's going for the future. I have the star, I have the moon in the environment, which means that there is something, there's some lunacy here too. There's some, because I get the devil with the emotion card.
Me too. Same spot, exactly.
So she knows she's nuts, but she knows she looks nuts too.
Yeah. To
the world, she looks like a crazy person. The Nine of Swords with the Five of Pentacles, maybe even somebody chemically off balance. And so with the Nine of Cups, this is where I kind of went, where AOC may, again, not want this to happen, but she's going to use it to her advantage. Yeah. So it's like, since this is happening, you keep on. You stand outside and bark at the door all you want to, and all of the people are going to walk by and say, this woman must be crazy. And then Five of Swords is what it ends in. So this is going to be the advantage card and the bully card and all that type of stuff. So Marjorie is painting herself to everybody else. And then AOC will take advantage of that and possibly brand the Republicans as MTG, what is it really? DJT. So all these people are going to be Marjorie's and Trump's parties. And so I think she's going to use it to her advantage.
And that's the plan, because I got the Two of Wands in the environment. She's just, you know what? Oh, you've given me this gift. Thank you. That's my plan. Yeah, and I told you guys what my outcome cards, what I got. Also got to how she's her in game too. She's incredibly rooted, and she's using her third eye. She's tapping almost into a psychic sense, and she's staying very calm, very grounded to help her get through it. So she'll be all right. She'll be all right. Again, I mean, what did our mothers always teach us? Don't argue with a fool because somebody walking by don't know who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Has anyone here not heard the story about Donald Trump explaining his middle initial?
I have it.
Okay, I read this. If you Google it, there was some kind of gathering at Mar-a-Lago a number of years ago. Might have been 2017, 2018. There were two Republicans. I don't remember that, but they were low level Republicans, and they were talking. So this is secondhand, but still. So the one guy says, "Hey, I met Donald Trump. I met him and we talked." And the other one's like, "Really? Well, what did you say?" He said, "Well, I asked him, what does your middle initial stand for? The middle initial J." And according to this is a Republican was talking to another Republican who's telling the story. Trump said it stands for genius.
Jesus Christ.
J for genius.
Makes sense.
Donald J for genius Trump.
No.
So, yeah.
Oh, you already got it. Okay.
Yeah. I got nothing. I got nothing. J for
yeah.
So
Like Fred Sanford.
that should be changed every time. So
Oh,
God, I just will Donald Genius J Trump, will the January 6th commission actually ever come to fruition? Will it happen? I mean, again, I would love to have the amnesia that the Republican Party has.
Giuliani and Trump apparently was trying to urge some judge to throw out the lawsuit, Capitol riot lawsuit that's against him. Like, why?
Why?
If you had nothing to do with it, let it come out in discovery. That way everybody else can leave you alone.
And then you can become the martyred hero yet once again that you're claiming that you are.
Uh-huh.
These people, I swear. Donald Genius Trump.
They apparently they need 10 Republicans to flip in order to get this through in the Senate. And right now they've got 3. They've got Romney, Collins, and Murkowski.
That's right, Murkowski.
But
I think she was the second one.
But we're talking about during the insurrection, 5 people were killed, 140 police officers were injured. 140.
Feces and PPs all over the walls. You had to, again, okay.
Now they want to call them tourists.
Okay. Anybody ever work retail, food service, something where you have that one person who comes in as the store's closing or as the restaurant, the kitchen's getting ready to shut down, and you got to stay open longer because of that jerk? Everybody had to stay at work until 4:00 in the morning because of them. They still had to certify the election. I would be pissed on that principal and would never let him go. I'd be like, hell yeah, we're prosecuting. I had to stay at work until 4:30 in the morning with security guards and I couldn't go pee-pee.
Mm-hmm.
Will the commission happen? Because God bless the janitorial staff. All of the chefs had to stay. Mind you, one of the chefs is a transgender woman. They had to hide this woman because they thought the insurrectionists were going to go kill her. Go ahead, Autumn. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated. I gotta breathe.
No, it's fine. Johnny, are you ready to go? Why don't you go?
You go ahead.
Okay. I'm getting the same thing I've been getting. Basically, the Republicans are not going to work with this. Is not enough votes. This is out in the cold. This is walking away. Republicans walking away. However, card for the reading. I get Pentacles for Republicans and Cups for Democrats. Card for the reading is 10 of Pentacles. Here's the 9 of Pentacles. Here's the Page of Pentacles. This is what I've been getting is the Republicans in the Senate are going to try to just kill this, but it's just going to allow the Democrats to go forward without their input, and they are going to regret that they did not take this opportunity to have at least some kind of voice. So hang on. Thank you. Just a minute more. Sorry. My mom.
Okay. Hi, Mommy.
Where was it? My mom. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. There's. I wonder if Merrick Garland isn't going to appoint a special prosecutor.
Do it anyway.
But it looks like the Democrats are going to go forward anyway with something, and the Republicans are going to regret this.
Yep, they are. Very, very much so. Go ahead, Johnny.
It ends in no, but it starts in yes, which means that someone is going to have to change things. So it starts with the Sun and the Queen of Wands. So there's somebody who's going to have to get involved and take control of the situation. It cannot be left up to the children in the Senate because the politics is there, and the Four of Cups, this despondency, it doesn't end. So there's a constant back and forth. I read an article today that said this is basically a gift to Democrats. Now, if they use it properly, then it's a gift to Democrats because why would you not investigate this?
Yeah.
Someone attacked your country. Why would you not investigate that? But Republicans have absolutely no, what's the word? They don't want to do this. They don't want to do the investigation because of what would come out. Mind you, what was it? 7 senators that gave tours.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they don't want discovery, but someone on the Democratic side is going to have to take control because the kids are running amok.
7 Republicans gave tours?
It's something like that. Let me see.
Something like that. It's a high number. Because, because they found 2 more, I think. And I'm saying 2 more because the last count I had.
Boebert, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Boebert, Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, and Andy Biggs.
That's 8.
All gave tours on the 5th.
Yep.
All of them.
Every last one of them. A lot of options. They're confused. Do we stay or do we go? Do we go through with this or do we keep our secrets? Okay. However, their challenge is either a quick action or some speedy communication. I think this is going to be the Dems or somebody going out and doing this anyway. With the 8 of Wands. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Patricia.
Thank you, Patricia.
Well, Patricia, may that generosity be returned to you tenfold. In the past, burden with the 10 of Wands. However, this is where it gets very interesting to me, and I agree with both of you, because in their emotions is the 9 of Swords. They are stressed the hell out because they know some stuff's going to come out. They know stuff is going to come out. They also, what's going to come out too is the money behind this. This wasn't just about a political win. There's some deep-seated money tied into this. They are going to get in their own way by not going after this, by trying to. If they played within, if they did this, they could kind of hide things or kind of go, yes, but explain it. They're not going to do that because they're trying to run away from it. Therefore, they're going to put themselves in a really tricky situation because 5 of Cups, that's going to suck. You're going to screw yourself. Something big is going to come out with the tower. It's going to come out regardless. And then in Ten of Swords, dead, stick a fork in it, done.
You know what I love about the Tower card is in situations like this, you're trying to hide whatever's in the tower, but it gets blown off by force. It's like you can't stop what is coming out. You can't stop what is above you. You can't stop what is more powerful than you. So if you're going to stall in this situation, something greater than you is going to bring this out. So
Bring it out.
politics is not all you have. There's something else to this too. So
This is bigger than us.
matter of time, buddy.
Oh, these
Well, just don't do stupid, horrible, illegal stuff. I mean, my God.
Let's do one last one on my least. You know what? And I've always said this before. Trump himself doesn't bother me. It was the enablers.
Yeah.
It's everybody else that bothered me and still continues to this day to bother me. It wasn't. You gonna let the bully? I just think about like Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace did whatever he wanted because his parents didn't stop him.
That's the thing right there.
So
Your kid is drawing on the walls and jumping on my couch.
Yep.
You should say something or I'm going to punch him in his throat. So what we going to do?
Thank you so much for the super chat, Kate. May that generosity be returned to you tenfold. Thank you to all 320 of you who were here tonight in the super chat. Or in the super chat, in the live. Sorry.
It is a super chat. We're all super.
We're all super. We are super califragilistic. Awesome. Happy belated birthday, by the way, Johnny.
Well, thank you.
Is that the orange smart water?
Vitamin water, yeah.
Vitamin water, I mean.
Yeah.
That one tastes like very watered down orange juice, but I'm so good for that one.
I love all vitamin water. I don't know why. All of them except the sugar free, but I like all of them.
I don't like the blue one. Isn't there still a blue one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one tastes like.
I like all of them.
But so let's talk about let's talk about your boy one last time, at least for this reading. Will there ever be any kind of laws or any kind of anti-Trump law that comes in the future? Something that comes that can prevent this type of authoritarian rule in the United States of America?
You were kind enough to send me your questions ahead of time, and I was looking these things up to make sure I had enough details, but this is actually so broad because they need to enforce the laws that are already in existence, emoluments, and that's just the tip of a huge iceberg.
So many.
Having to give your taxes, show your tax returns, having to everything from emoluments to there's a huge list of
able to spell genius.
Yes, exactly.
Because that was something, because I liked the question when I got it, but I was thinking about it too. I was like,
oh, great question. I'm just saying it's
yeah. We never upheld the rules and laws that we had, which got him as far as they did. Will we still create another law that we may or may not ever follow?
So what it was telling me beforehand, which is what it says here, is yes, we have stuff already in place that says he can't do half the things he did. But what you don't have is anything behind that enforcing it.
Yep.
Because the DOJ and the president should be separate, but they were not. The DOJ, the president, and the Treasury should be separate, but they were not. And so what I get is the Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, that inside man, and whatever kind of document is here. The laws are already there. They just were not followed. They were not supported. The Hermit and the Star, what you need is some sort of committee with a checklist in saying, okay, if you want to be president, where's your tax returns? If you want to be president, you can't be crazy. If you want to be president, stay out of the DOJ, stay out of the White House. There are things that, because if they can't prosecute him, then he doesn't need to be down there meeting with Bill Barr. And Bill Barr don't need to be up here talking to you. He's got his own job to do. You got yours. So this here with the Hermit and the Star for the future, what they need is committees. What they need is investigations. What they need is people who have answers or people who search for answers. People who, with the Five of Wands, can sort of fight for the establishment of the rules that are there. You need to be some sort of governing body, some sort of checks and balance when it comes to what the person and the White House can and cannot do, but it has to be enforced by everybody, including the outside world. And maybe we need something to be able to get rid of a president a little easier, maybe.
What are you getting, Adrian?
I'm getting they don't know whether to crap or go blind, and then eventually they will go blind and crap at the same time. Starts with Two of Pentacles, being able to juggle. There's also some financials behind this with the King of Pentacles. There may be some lobbying or some money behind it that does not allow the bill to kind of come to true fruition or something to come to fruition. However, what's working for them is there is a plan. They want to make sure, at least certain people want to make sure this never happens again. But what's their challenge is it's probably either going to be quickly shot down or even how it's communicated. It may even be called the anti-Donald Trump bill, but you've still got so many Trumpsters out there. That's not what they need or want to hear. That's going to work against you. And no, outcome is it's going to be some heartbreak. Yeah, I just don't see it happening because again, you got the devil, the Republican Party, that ill thinking. They just are not going to let it go through because we have the infrastructure already. We just didn't do as I say, not as I do.
That was a new rules segment on Bill Maher's show a while ago, where there was a movie where there was two football teams and one of them was minus a kicker, and they got a donkey to be their kicker because donkeys kick really hard. And when you look at that, they would say, well, that's not a football player, but there is no rule that says you cannot have a donkey on your team. So it's kind of this situation to where nobody had to say it because it was just implied that you don't be a criminal and you try to be president. You don't have, interest overseas and you're not indebted to Vladimir Putin and you're trying to be the president. Like it was implied that these are certain standards and rules, but you have to write this stuff down now.
Yeah, because I was going to say what I'm hearing from a lot of people who didn't know much about civics before Donald Trump was they learned so much about civics, learned so much about how our entire American Constitution and how we do things was all based on a gentleman's code, a handshake, being ethical, being moral, having dignity. And they didn't realize that a lot of that was just a handshake. That was not a written law that you had to do X, Y, and Z. What you got, Autumn?
This is depressing. So I basically, unless the Republicans are held, unless they are punished by the voters, unless they are not only just punished, but as Obama used the word shellacked, unless the Republicans are absolutely shellacked for a long period of time, any laws that are brought up, it's like they are looking at whatever laws you put up and saying, "Oh, that's adorable. Look at you." It does. There are some established Republicans who this to be so crazy, and things might seem a little better for a time, but until there is, I mean, right now there isn't even anybody like slapping their wrists. Until there is accountability, they'll just bring the crazy back. There's no incentive for them to stop. There's no reason for them to stop, and that's depressing. And I don't like it.
Again, I used to have an employee who used to come into work late, leave early. and went to HR and said, I've got whatever issue. And because HR was terrified of this employee suing the company because she said she has an issue, she continued to get away with it every time. And that's just what when you said that, it just made me think of that. Troubled employee, you're going to continue to get away with it until.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look.
Your work becomes my work.
Your work becomes my work. Condemned past anything with Mitch at the helm. Mitch McConnell is pulling his old tricks from 2008, 2012. As long as the Democrats in charge, my entire job, I'm going to ignore all the infighting that's going on within my own party. My sole job is to block anything that the Democrats do. Will them to be able to get anything done with Mitch the itch in their way? And that was Autumn. That was your question, right? Did I get it right? I can't say it. He makes my butt. This is going to be so violent. You know that when you have an upset tummy and that clenching feeling you have to do to make sure everything stays put? That's what my body does every time I think about Mitch McConnell.
That's my.
Like I'm trying to fight back a bad case of diarrhea.
Because shh.
Mitch the itch. What you got, Autumn?
Well, here's the thing. There's bad news, but then there's good news.
Okay, because I got nothing but bad news so far.
The bad news is the voters love that he's doing this. Absolutely love. They just think this is the greatest thing in the world, that he's just throwing a wrench in every work. He's blocking absolutely everything. And this is all about the extremism of who's in power. Because it's either Trump, who quote unquote is president. He's not, just throwing that out there, who thinks he is, or there's Biden, who they paint Biden like he's got cloven hooves. And it's all about this extremism. So Mitch McConnell, again, has no incentive. He has nothing but incentive to block every last thing. They could, they could decide that about somebody's nail polish or something, and they'd be like, no. The most inconsequential stuff. But, however, this is where we get a little bit of good news. The card for the reading is the card of the prosecutor.
Is that the Empress? Yes, the Empress, right?
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
The
Queen of Swords. I've got the King and the Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. This is my card for prosecutors. This is my card for investigators. This is saying it's a matter of time. So they can, that's the thing about the Wheel of Time. Whatever blockage, it'll just grind it to a fine powder and keep going. You can't stop this. So right now, he's going to continue on, but there's legal stuff coming. That's what I'm getting.
I hope so. That's a lot more positive than what I got. Thank you, Desiree, for the super chat.
Thank you, Desiree.
May that be returned to you tenfold. What you got, Johnny?
Yes and no. Or yes, they will be able to get stuff passed, just not everything. I get the Queen of Cups and the Six of Pentacles at first, so you have support for many of the smaller bills or some that are inconsequential to the greater scheme of the Republican agenda. His power is devastated when it comes to the Senate. When it comes to his mouth and his influence, that's a whole other thing, because that stretches across the country. But he is not as powerful as he once was, or even as many in just observing may even think, I suppose. But whoever the magician is would be him, and then he meets the Tower. The Knight of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords. Their agenda cannot be passed unless they can get someone from the other side, mansion, to join them. And so they are having an issue when it comes to loyalty. So that is his superpower, is shaking hands behind his back type thing. to where there's some sort of little deal, or hey, vote my way, like they tried to do John McCain, vote my way and we'll support you, blah blah. But his problem right now is loyalty. He's running out of it.
Yep.
But the justice and my Democrat card 10 of cups in the end. So yes, they will get some things passed, just not everything. At least in 50-50 there.
Bring on the misery, Adrian. Bring on the misery.
I'm going to try to spin it. I'm going to try to not spin it. I'm going to try to look at it a little bit more positively, but I just don't know if I can. It initially started off kind of positive with Six of Swords. So maybe we can get something good. Maybe his reign of power is done, but nope, here he is. So it crosses it, the magician. Sneaky bastard. He is he's going to try some new tactics with the Fool at the crown of this. And then he's going to be having to defend. This is going to be maybe his new strategy. So he's, instead of, hey, I'm going to kill everything, he can't kill it because he's not the majority leader anymore. He's going to come out with a little bit of a different tactic. So be on the lookout for that. It's not going to be it's going to be greater taste, less filling Mitch McConnell, and not the traditional Mitch McConnell we've seen in the past. In the immediate future, this is where I'm getting kind of what Johnny got, this loyalty with the Two of Cups. That's about to be burdened. He does not have that deep-seated loyalty that he had anymore. Some of those people are either going to start going more towards the MTG, the genius Trump route, or they're going to start going a little bit more towards the independent, because they're going to start seeing, I think especially in 2020, some of this buffoonery is not necessarily what they're going to need to tout to be reelected. And that's going to be the key. That's what's going to start getting some of that splintering off. Four of Cups, he's just in the environment. They're not satisfied. He's not satisfied. However, the word of warning for Mitch McConnell is the Empress. There's going to be some new things. So I think new bills, like you guys were both saying, something new is either going to come out where there's going to be some bills that Dems are able to pass, or like Autumn was saying, I'm going to do it right this time. Got it. Some new legal cases that may be coming up. There's definitely 10 Pentacles, somebody. There's going to be something is going to be moving though, slow forward. So there will be bills that come out. It's just going to cause a lot of ruckus though, with Seven of Cups with confusion and Five of Wands with conflict. So we'll get stuff passed. It's just he is what is the challenge. Because he's a hot bag of farts. Can't stand that man.
In a 5-pound bag.
Freaking farts. Okay. Johnny, do you want to do your Paul Ryan question or questions?
I want to know, does he have any regrets? And then I want to know, why did he wait so long to come out and speak against the Trumpian hold? He is now going out making speeches saying that the hold that Trump has on the party needs to change. When you were there, Paul Ryan, when you were there,
Wisconsin,
while he was having that hold on the party so you can get your little tax bill passed that you've been trying to pass for 15 years and got it done with the idiot in charge. And then all of a sudden he's saying, well, he has a hold on the party and it needs to change. We're at a crossroads, he says. So why did he wait so long to come out and say anything? You had all the chances. Now, mind you, Paul Ryan said these words out of his own idiot ass mouth. He said, Donald Trump is learning. That's what he said when people were criticizing the way he was running the country. He's learning. No, the ink ain't dry on your tax bill yet. That's all that was. Because you conveniently retired right after you got it done.
I mean...
And then went to work on the board at Fox News, Donald Trump's favorite TV station. You still didn't do nothing.
You still did nothing.
So why now? Why did he wait so long?
See, I thought you said Paul. I was thinking Rand Paul.
Paul Ryan.
And but it's Paul Ryan. I'll never forget Kirsten Langston, who was kind of doing this before we were. She was one of the earliest political tarot readers, I think. Anyway, she always called Paul Ryan a box of hair. I think that's pretty accurate.
It's slightly accurate. Paul Ryan is an ingrown pubic hair.
Yeah, I'm not saying that though.
I said it.
Go ahead. It's your channel. You say what you want.
At 8:33 p.m. on May 27th, 2020.
I'll put it on the shirt for you.
Oh, he is just whines one way, then crawls back down underneath the skin to cause a big pustule. I use that analogy for a freaking reason. That is him.
Is he trying to get back into politics?
That wouldn't surprise me. What you getting?
I'm getting cards flying. Hang on. Hold please.
Yes. Yeah, I'm getting, yeah.
Sorry. Because I'm getting, he was all for Trump when Trump was about how he would get power and get what he wanted. But now he's thinking he sees an opening post-Trump where he doesn't have to be the knight fighting for the Trump stuff, the wands. He can be for truth and righteousness and give me a break for the judgment. But it's almost like he wants the attention. He wants the people to stand up and see him being the savior of the Republican Party, which makes me think it feels very much like he wants to get back into politics. Mm-hmm. And this is entirely cynical. This is entirely, he will like whomever will get him power. Whatever's going on on the lay of the land politically.
Yep. Do you want me to go, Johnny, or do you want to go since it's your question? I don't care.
It's about money for him. Well, initially, he got his tax bill, the 7 of Pentacles, something going forward with the money, because I got the 6 of Swords right after that. He right now feels as though there's an urgency to rebrand the party because they are trying to come back into power with the Emperor here. The 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords, he feels as though for the next, 16 years that they'll probably be out of power because Biden's won. He's probably going to win again. And then right after him, whoever his VP still is, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Like they don't see a way back to the top as long as the orange one has the lead on them. And so he is worried that they will always be out in the cold. And so now they're trying to come up with some sort of crossroads speech. Now, mind you, there's an agenda with the High Priestess. This is how it ends. He is so two-faced that he's probably got 2 social security numbers. So he has an agenda, and it has nothing to do with, it has a little bit to do with Donald Trump, but most of it is just let's get back into power so that we can do more of our thing. I can't.
Ingrown hair. Does he have any regrets? Nope, because he had to hold on for a little bit. He needs to make sure Trump left, because now it's his time. He wants to be the star. He wants to be the king of the messaging. This is all about him. So no, he does not have any regrets. He's actually regret. And if any regret, he regrets he waited this long. He may have wanted to do it a little sooner.
Are you done?
No, why did he wait so long? 7 of Pentacles. He had to wait for the opportunity. He needed to see the. I get more of the Trump hold on the MAGA party. This is why I get Autumn. What you think? Kind of get what you're saying. Does he want? Maybe he has his eye to get back into politics because I got the hair fan right here, and then also the current Republican Party is out in the cold. He wants to be the mouthpiece again, or a new mouthpiece. What were you going to say, ma'am?
Holly was kind enough in the chat to give us some astrological stuff about Paul Ryan. And yeah, he's got an Aquarius sun, Sagittarius rising, Libra moon, but his Neptune is conjunct his ascendant. So his ascendant, how he presents himself to the world. Neptune it dissolves things, but it rules things like art, fiction, or lying. It's like a fog. It dissolves things. So basically, right on his ascendant, he could, if it was a good thing, he could be like dreamy. But it's not. So he is wishy-washy to the extreme, whichever way things are blowing, whichever way the current's going, he's just there on the ocean floor going, ooh, I want to be, look at me. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you, Holly.
Kind of just blowing around with not a true good purpose.
Whatever is going to benefit him.
Yeah. He lives in a pineapple under the sea. Nasty Paul Ryan. All right. Let's look at going a little different. Shell Oil. Shell Oil had to go through a little bit more legal trouble. Recently, a court just ruled that yes, they are responsible for killing the ozone layer. You kind of think. Carbon emissions, they got in trouble, and now a couple things, they have to pay fines, and they are also going to have to adhere to more stringent EPA regulations. First question I have is, are they actually going to do this? Are they going to ignore it, or are they actually going to adhere by the court's ruling? I have a follow-up question after that. They were like egregiously guilty is what we read the court documents. It's like, bruh, come on now. You can't, come on.
Oh.
So I guess no. I'm guessing no based off of your facial expressions. What you got, ma'am, since you already pulled? Oh, freaking crack. Freaking crack. Are you serious?
Yeah, there's been judgments. There's big judgments. But while people were holding up Thunberg and other environmental activists and saying yes, absolutely, they were just working away on their oil rigs and because apparently they're supposed to cut their CO2 emissions of both them and the suppliers by 45% compared to the 2019 levels. This is pathetic. This is, well, maybe a little bit longer. We've been watching it. We just can't seem to manage. But that page of, yes, because we care about the kids, but this energy is so small. It's like this isn't real. This is like an advertising campaign to save the children, help the children. And then, we're trying so hard, court. Why don't you just, give us some more time? The energy just becomes weak.
I get the same thing. It starts off with the Seven of Swords. They're going to be just flat out blatant deceitful and trickery. Because they're battle weary. They feel like this court ruling is so unfair against them. If they do anything, they're going to drag their feet and be as slow as possible to do anything with the Chariot. It is progression, forward movement, but it's very slow. They're going to be so slow that it actually comes to a halt with Four Swords, that it actually stops. And that's going to make them victorious. They're going to slow it down so long enough that it can take years until maybe we can even get another Republican in office that can reverse or change the laws. What you got, Johnny?
I get yes. Queen of Cups and Justice in the end. Now, how do you get a judgment against you for destroying the ozone layer?
It was in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, how do you prove it's me, and who owns the ozone layer that I have to now pay fines?
Go ahead, Autumn.
In what I found, I wasn't seeing things about the ozone layer. I'm sure that was a part of it, but I just saw that basically the Netherlands cracked down on them and ruled that Shell Oil has to reduce their emissions, has to cut their CO2 by 45%.
They did some kind of, so I was reading this on Vox. They had shown over the air quality over time in a particular area, Johnny, where Shell has like a plant or something.
Mm-hmm.
That the air, like the air quality became crap. Fishes, bird, like things just started dying, and they did some kind of test, and then they were like, yes, this the layer, the ozone here, the basically attributed to like the ozone layer freaking sucks because Shell, with your emissions, you ruined it. And if you don't stop and you keep doing this globally, you're just going to screw everything up. Because my follow-up question was, will this set a precedent, and will other jurisdictions or other countries or other places now go sue either Shell or other companies for something similar? It just set a precedent.
Biden and Kerry are supposed to be making some sort of commitment to reduce emissions by 52% by 2030. I think they said 2030, 2033, something like that.
Yeah. Did they do the speech already? Or are they going to do the speech? Johnny?
What you say?
Did they do the speech already? Because then they were going to get together and do a speech.
No, I just seen an article saying that they were committed to doing this, such and such and such.
Was it maybe today? Because isn't that when he was out eating ice cream? And they were like, what do you think about Trump or so-and-so? And he's like, oh, no, the 9/11, the January 6th commission. He's like, I don't understand how people can go out and do whatever and y'all trying to blind eye. I'm just here to talk about the environment, the ozone layer, licks ice cream. Like, all right, Pop. You go ahead and throw shade and talk about your initiative at the same time.
Oh, Lord.
Will this set a precedent? Yeah, CC was saying there was an Exxon Mobil whistleblower years ago who came out and said they were looking at global warming concerns back even in the 80s. Crying out loud. What you got, Autumn?
This isn't even trying. It starts with the death and the four of sword. This is crickets and in a cemetery at night. This is nothing. This is lawyers standing up in the middle. This is people like the Biden administration trying to come forward with some, I don't know, something. Hello. But they just pour more money into their PR campaigns about we love the environment, what have you. Meanwhile, they are fighting back against these regulations, and it's going to take the next generation. It's going to take younger people in. This is frustrating. Oh boy. Okay, that's the misery I've got.
Yep, my misery. This is all about money. Money. I got nothing but pentacles in this read. Money. Support money, crossed with lovers and Ace of Cups and Two of Cups. All about they're gonna buy people off.
Yep.
Johnny, what did you get?
I get yes, but it's going to take enormous amounts of effort. It starts with the Three of Cups. There's your community card and the Judgment here. This is where your effort's going to come in. It's going to have to be something like the past, where tons and tons of people are going to have to pressure tons and tons of powerful people in order to make some sort of change. Change is not something rich people do by themselves. It is not something they do because they're nice people. They don't really care for regulations. As Chris Rock said, minimum wage is the least amount of money they can pay you. If they could pay you less, they would. So it is not that they want to regulate themselves or control their own interest or control their own output into the environment. They don't really care. They just want the profits to go up. So if you don't put on the pressure, then nothing is going to happen. The community here with the Three of Cups, the Six of Swords, we're in the stormy sea right now. In order to get to the calmer waters, there has to be work done. And it's very fitting that this looks like we're in the Everglades or something in this card.
Yeah,
but,
it does.
Beautiful.
We have to keep in mind, the coral reef died. That wasn't coincidence. It didn't just give up one day. So it's like there is damage being done, but the Magician card, I'm going to use a different interpretation. It's the Magician is the conduit between heaven and earth, but I will say this is going to be the conduit between earth and healing. And so what you need to do is make sure you put all your pistons in line and all of the people are doing the right thing and blah, blah, blah. But you have to get the community in on this. This is not going to be Joe Biden signing a piece of paper saying reduce your emissions, because he's got other things to do, or he doesn't want to do that at the time, or it doesn't get passed, or whatever the case may be. But going back to the community, you have to apply that pressure. We can give things to politics for them to do, but we also need to follow up to make sure they've done it. And if they do not do it, then you need to organize and then vote them out for somebody who will. AOC can't save the world by herself. So you can Green New Deal all you want to, but if nobody supports it, it means nothing. So no company is going to regulate themselves. This is going to take community to get us out of the stormy seas. So that's why I'll say yes, because I'll be hopeful and say that, everybody banded together to get the orange one out. You can band together to do this too. This is the only planet you have to live on.
Yes. Things are going to get better.
Yes.
Yeah, they will. Just like you said, I like your reading, Johnny.
I do too.
Crap I got.
We're going with Johnny's reading on this.
I had to spin a little bit.
I was like, I got a pile of crap. This is depressing. Speaking of piles of crap, Facebook is removing any of their Facebook was, I guess, doing. I would have could fool the hell out of me, but Facebook was going in and doing some monitoring and policing around COVID-19. Anything that said that COVID-19 was a man-made virus, was created in a lab in Wuhan, whatnot, was immediately deleted. So this means they were going into a lot of these private groups and chat rooms and deleting that type of content to prevent misinformation. About COVID. Facebook has now removed that restriction. Will this lead to more misinformation? Will we see a surge of crazy, more lies, more conspiracy theories? Because if they're going to release this restriction, I think more will come.
Very
It's not like the world has decided, oh, yes, we now believe all the science. They just couldn't talk about it on Facebook. So what's going to happen? Will this lead to more misinformation? I mean, yes, but the cards say.
Yep. Yes, it will.
Okay, what you got, man?
There's also talk there. Trump is still off of Facebook. He's not allowed on Facebook, but it's only for an X number of months.
6 months, I believe. They're going to review it again.
They're going to look at it again. Mm-hmm. Basically, there are a lot of people who are still scared. And so once this is lifted, you have the crazies who are like, yay, rush forward. We must get the crazy word out. Fruits of labor. Look at all of my posts. Look. And they are full of misinformation, lies, conspiracies. It's a secret. It's a super secret where it's, it was created by aliens from Beetlejuice and more. Look, I've got more and more posts because other people have to understand, and people are just at home scared, and they're like, And there are going to be some people they're like, really? Oh my God. Well, maybe there's got to be something to it. It's like, yeah.
What you got, Johnny?
I get yes with an asterisk. So it's the Hangman and the Ace of Swords. So there is your alternative facts with the Ace of Swords and the Hangman, because the Hangman is hanging for a different perspective. So there's your alternative facts. However, I can't stand Zuckerberg. I don't hate the guy. I mean, I think he has odd interests, I think, or odd allegiance. But I can't necessarily blame Facebook for this one, because I don't think that is the only place they got their mindset in the first place. If I am looking for information on COVID-19 and I go to Facebook and no one is able to say that it was man-made, am I looking for someone to say that already? And then I go outside of it and find that answer? Or am I really looking for a scientist to tell me what is the real deal? And if I'm looking for a scientist to tell me what is really happening, they probably would never say certain amount of things. And so if Facebook puts on there that it was man-made and somebody reads it, they were not looking for proper information. I think they were looking for their opinion regurgitated. So I get the judgment and the reliable man. So it's all in who it is you choose to take information from.
Exactly.
So if you're going to go get it from a reliable source, then go to a reliable person. If you just want it from anybody, that means you're probably just looking for your opinion to be shot back at you. But the Ace of Wands, the new ideas, the new thoughts, yeah, it's going to be some conflict with the truth. And I think that well, anyway, that's a judgment. But yes, to answer the question, there will be some misinformation.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. It starts off with the Hermit, so them having to retreat, kind of withdraw for a little while with the messaging. Crossed by the King of Swords. What's very interesting, though, is the Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune are at the base and at the crown of this. Eventually, this is inevitable, that like-minded people, conspiracy theorists, whoever, we're going to find ways to communicate again. They're going to find ways to talk and spread their information. We need to worry about, though, why are they doing it? Is there an ulterior motive? Or are they really just crazies who are out there talking with the Seven of Swords? Is there some type of trickery, deceit? Or are they just a bunch of crazies trying to talk? You're going to see there's an overflowing of emotions with the Ace of Cups in the emotions. So I always get, when I get the Ace of Cups in the emotions, watch your timelines, because it's going to be this bombardment of like, where the hell did this come from in your timelines? Okay. And even through advertising, you'll start to see that a little bit. And the environment, though, is a change. There's going to be a shift. It's by them releasing the restrictions on COVID-19. What's going to happen is there's other things they're going to release the restrictions on in the background that you're not going to see. And it's going to start a whole new wave of attack of the crazy, attack of the misinformation, attack of the new thing that we can sway people to think about. Watch your timelines, watch your friends, it was inevitable, though, because if it wasn't going to be, it was going to be something else that's going to cause this. So,
I mean, it started with the lie. It's a hoax.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's going to continue with one, I suppose.
Yep. Let's I'm going to talk a not so happy topic, but I want to maybe you can't put a positive spin on this, but I think there's a way we can look at a bad situation and maybe learn and glean something from it. So Samuel Cassidy was the gentleman who went and saved the day and murdered, I think, unfortunately the death toll's up to 9, I think now.
It was 8 and 9 was him.
Okay, 9 was him. So yeah.
Actually, I think it's now 9 and 10 is him.
10 is
Somebody
him?
at the hospital died. Sorry, Johnny.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought it was 9. So thank you. 9 and 10. And I didn't know if it was 9 including him, but 9 and now 10. Okay. There's a lot. Here's what I think is very interesting of this. His ex-wife says she knew something like this was going to happen. He had been detained before for violence. So basically, let the media tell it he was a ticking time bomb. This was going to, something like this was inevitable. It was going to happen. First and foremost, I want to just, for everybody who lost their life, losing your life to another senseless act of violence in the United States. For that, I am sorry. I want to know, what does Spirit want us to know about situations like this? What can, if there's something we're just missing, we're not seeing, is there something that we need to know? We have something we can glean that we can learn from these types of cases. Because if everybody, their hindsight is always 2020. So let's use this hindsight moment to see what we can learn. When people are dead, and everybody around said they saw it coming. Why couldn't we? What do we need? What does Spirit need us to know? Why we couldn't have stopped this? Yeah. Whoever wants to go, I'm gonna call.
Does anyone really want to go on this question?
I do actually, because I'm getting a very interesting.
Oh, please, please. Oh, please, oh, please.
But I just need to. Okay. This is very interesting. Use your discernment around people who are always feeling ostracized. Find ways to either watch them, and not watch them from a creepy way, but talk to them. Try to figure out where their mind is. I get the Seven of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Emperor. Look for the people who feel they are above or different or outside, because it's a ticking time bomb. It's going to happen. They're easy to point out, not even after something's happened, but before. We know them. Not all of them are going to go and kill and shoot, but there are people, they're not outliers in the community. They are part of us. Yeah, the tailspin, rock bottom. Because what happens is anybody can have a breaking point and spin out of control with tailspin and rock bottom. God. Okay. I mean, that's why I said it's watch them, because not everybody who feels like the outcast, feels like the outlier, is going to explode. But it's the ones who have hit the absolute bottom. We can catch them in enough time with the talisman.
What card is that? The 10 of... The one you both had?
It's rock bottom. It is from the Enchanted Map Oracle.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you, Nancy, for the super chat.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Watch them. They're here. They are with us. They are among us. Look for the outlier. Because once they hit rock bottom, which any of us can, we can probably pluck them and pick them up before they hit a tailspin. Johnny, since we got the same card, do you want to go? Or go ahead, Autumn.
No. What was that other deck? That was beautiful. The other deck. Yeah. What is that one? Do you know?
This one is, yes. It's called The Good Karma Tarot.
Oh, somebody sent that to me. I ain't got it yet, though.
It's very affordable. It's on Amazon. I've had this for like 2 months. I absolutely love it. It's a very happy deck, and the packaging is so cute. I actually kept the box, and it's hanging on my wall as part of wall art because it's a pretty big box. Because this is a big book. The box looks just like this, but it's more vibrant. So cute.
Sorry, Johnny. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
With my cards, rock bottom, I guess, well, I don't know how this sounds, but I'm going to say it anyway. Things are as bad as they're going to get. I'm not saying they're as bad as they can be, because anything can also always be worse, but they're as bad as they're going to get, as in, unfortunately, we've returned back to that USA normal, to where every week there's another story like this. Every few days there's a story like this. So we are at that point. We are at that rock bottom. Well, I have a Spirit of Place. Spirit of Place is a card that lets you know that your solution is actually embedded in your problem. And so where you are is what you need to then assess what is going on, find the solution in it. You want love, be love. If you want to quit struggling, then let go, that type of thing. So if you want to do something about gun violence, do something about guns. So unfortunately, we are not in a position where the logic is winning. Now we're in politics. Politics is feelings. We're not in the logic. You want to do something about guns, then approach it in a logical sense. It's kind of like global warming. At least you need to admit you have a problem and then start with the solutions. Don't start arguing whether it exists or not. Don't try to argue whether gun violence exists or not. It does. Now find a solution. So the thing you can hold on to, I suppose, is those around you. I get the Four of Pentacles: your root, your heart, your crown chakra, your family, your love, your God, your religion, your spirit, your whatever. Hold on to the things that you know won't fail you, or that you know won't leave you, or at the very least, because family will always disappoint you, but real family will never leave you, because they're people. They will disappoint. All people disappoint each other, but they will never leave you. That's your root. That's your security. Who is in your heart? Who do you love? What do you love? It doesn't have to even be people, plants, pets, whatever. In your crown chakra, what are you connected to? Who do you talk to? Who talks to you? That type of thing. Is it your ancestors? Is it your angels? Whatever the case may be. If it's a breeze in the wind, whatever. Hold on to that. That's where you will draw your strength in these type of times, especially if you are in the vicinity of something horrible like that happening. If you witness it, if you know somebody that was harmed or killed, you have to hold on to these strengths, because otherwise you'll lose your mind and you'll fall into depression. And that's a very hard thing to get out of. So hold on to the things that you know are your security. That's what I get.
It's a good message.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting we went to the same deck for that.
And you know what's funny? I pulled like 3 decks. Like, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. And I grabbed that deck, and I didn't even know which one it was because I couldn't see it. And I just grabbed it. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll go with this one. So, oh gosh.
Okay.
Should I go?
Yes, if you want to. If you don't want to.
No, it's just I was hoping there would be like an answer. How do we solve this? How do we? No, there's that. What I have is the upshot is treasure every moment you have. Treasure every bit. Be the love in the world and treasure those around you every day. Tell people who you love that you love them every day. Appreciate the good in life. Every meal, every conversation. There is more good than bad, and understand that there have always been people like this. Now, throughout history, throughout the entire history of mankind, the difference is that now This guy was walking around with 3 semi-automatic handguns with 11 loaded magazines. And this took place in over 2 different buildings. That's the difference. But this type of person, for someone who would do this kind of thing, they have always been with us, because it's like they're saying, we're sorry, but the world is a hard place. So be the love, appreciate what you have around you, and understand, just like there are mountains and there are trees and there are people like this. And if you can please do something about your weapons. Please do something about your weapons, but we understand it's not really in your control right now. That's what I'm getting.
You know what's messed up? And just, I think, and I remember reading how much ammo and how many weapons he had on him. And the part that makes me angry, as I said, it's a miracle he didn't kill more people. We are this deep in our gun culture that he could have that much ammo on him, and it's a blessing that he only killed. And I was like, how desensitized, how messed up are we in this country where mass shootings like this is almost a norm? And when now 10 people lose their life, we actually at the point where we go, oh, ooh, it could have been worse. No.
Or it's just another story, because 2 days later, something's going to happen again.
Something else is going to happen again.
And it's not even like a technical war is on the streets to where this should be a typical story, because, there's gunplay out at this side versus that side out in the street. No, this is just random pockets of violence. And another story that hit the news. Someone or someone's got shot and we ain't heard about it yet.
Yep. Because it's local.
At all.
Yep, they made it to the local news. It hasn't gone up to the national news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to end on a slightly funnier note. Still but it's, at least it's a he-ha kind of messed up, and not like I'm depressed and I need to go like hug a stuffed animal kind of messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer's favorite, what do I want to call her? Jennifer, since we need to rename Karen. I don't know why I just picked Jennifer. That was the most random name that came to me. Crybaby JD. Amy Cooper.
Central Park.
Crybaby. For those of you who do not remember, she's the one, thank you, hippie gypsy, who called the police on the black man when he asked her to put her dog on a leash, which is part of the Central Park rules. And she tried to claim that he was going to beat and harass her when he recorded. He wasn't doing anything. Come to find out, she's got a track record of this kind of foolishness and shenanigans. When that happened, she was getting evicted from her house and she lost her job. She is now suing her former employer for racial discrimination and sexual orientation, gender discrimination, because she lost her job. I'm going to repeat this. She is suing her former employer for racial, being racist, and for gender discrimination because she got fired.
She's pulling a Monique.
The white Monique. Y'all.
Can I add 2 small details to this story that really make me crazy?
Yeah.
Number 1, the Manhattan. Okay, when she called 911, she falsely claimed that he was threatening her life. Okay. The Manhattan prosecutors have dropped all charges against her.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse you?
Yep. That's because she did her required training, and she, the prosecutor was like, "Oh, we feel that she's learned her lesson because she did her training." And the man who, I keep forgetting his name, who she attacked, was like, "Oh yeah, I think she learned her lesson too."
He didn't press charges.
Yeah, because that's exactly what would have happened if somehow this had been reversed or what have you. Mm-hmm. If someone with some color had called in a false, Anyway, but the other thing that is just makes me crazy about this, could there be a bigger message here? The universe talking. The universe is yelling to this woman who is seeing this man as the other, right? He is the other. They're not related, but they have the same last name. Mm-hmm. Her name is Amy Cooper. His name is Christian Cooper.
Okay.
They have the same name. There is no other here. It's the universe saying, hello, we're the same. Okay, sorry.
It's okay. A couple 2 cents I'm just going to add. She got evicted, not necessarily because of this. This was the catalyst. There had already been multiple complaints about her harassing and bullying and threatening her neighbors. So her landlord was like, okay, this is the catalyst. That's enough. I've already had complaints. You're out. I believe the job, New York they can do whatever they want. But also there was rumors that she also had complaints from coworkers. So again, I think the problem lies with you, dear. But let's take a look and see how this lawsuit's going to play out. Thank you to all 358 who are still here for the live stream. Appreciate you. Thanks to the moderators for moderating, and thanks to everyone who donated the super chats. Thank you for your generosity. Well,
lady.
I don't like my cards.
Yeah, Christian Cooper is a better person than me. Very much so.
Mm-hmm. What you guys get? Because I don't like my cards.
Johnny, you keep getting the good cards.
I think her lawsuit will be looked at as foolish. I got the fool, the hierophant. The courts will not. She can do her case if she wants to, but I think there's something different here. I don't think she's suing her former employer simply because she feels as though she's been discriminated against. I think her life is going down the toilet and she's grasping at whatever she can to keep from drowning. Mm-hmm. The moon and the lovers. The moon is at the core of the reading, which means everything else is up in the air. Nothing has an ending. It's just murky. She doesn't quite understand what her life is right now. It took a few moments to change her whole life trajectory. And so I think she's just trying to keep from drowning. Her lawsuit's not going to go anywhere. 2 of Wands, it's open-ended. So, you can keep paying money for a lawyer to try to get something out of your former employer, but it's not going to happen.
Oh, what you get, Autumn?
I think her life turned upside down really quickly from her own racism and entitlement. And because she's of the same ilk as the Orange Shiva and allowing that kind of garbage to normalizing that kind of garbage. But she's finding that all of this, where Trump gets away with it, she does not. It's a burden to her. So as far as the suing the company goes, the cards only sort of say this, but what it feels like is The company might even give her a small amount of money to make her go away.
Just go away.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what that feels like. Just like
Nuisance lawsuits.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just like go away. And the country is painfully slowly arcing toward better decency in the future. But as far as her future goes, that's the highway to not heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in it for the money. She wants the attention. See, it starts off the star that's at the center of this. This is about her. However, yeah, 5 of Cups. That's just what her challenge is. There will be some initial win because in the immediate future it's the 3 of Cups. This is why the previous reading I got was she will get there's some strength behind the lawsuit. She'll win something. It'll be a small financial gain. I didn't like that, so I pulled the cards again because I'm just being spiteful at this point and not liking her. But there's going to be an initial small win. However, it's not going to be exactly what she wants. So it's kind of saying the same thing. In the environment is the conflict. Obviously, Chariot, there's going to be the word of warning. This is going to drag out this lawsuit's going to drag out for a while. It's going to be very slow. But yeah, she's definitely going to get, I think she's going to get some money. It's just not going to be a lot of money because it's 3 of Pentacles with the collaboration, 5 of Pentacles and being out and then having to juggle with the 2 of Pentacles. So she'll get some money. It's just not going to be the millions and gazillions she is trying to go for.
Did y'all ever do a reading on what snapped that day when he asked her to put her dog on a leash? Like, what was it that made her go to that extreme of calling the police? Was it purely racism? Was her life already falling apart?
I did a chakra reading on her. And she just has, I remember root and sacral chakra being her, a lot of root and sacral. And then something happened, I would say kind of recently, that was a heart chakra issue for her. So those were her 3 issues. Thank you, Brandon, for the super chat, but I have not pulled that. Do you want to look at that?
She's having some relationship issues that look like.
Sure. Gypsy had a question. What was the other card besides the Chariot? For me, it was the Devil card.
The Tower, with your Chariot card.
Oh, your Tower. You're correct. I'm so sorry. You're right. You've got
better memory than me. Saw the Devil, but maybe I wasn't paying that close.
No, it was the Tower. You're right. It was my memory.
The Devil was with. She did pull the Devil
down. What happened that day to make her snap?
Yeah, like what was the thing that made her go all the way there and like ruin her life and just or was it already going that direction? And this
I just remember she's always been a person who was not in control of her emotions from the chakra reading. Like she always tended to overreact. Because I remember because at that time that was right when the neighbors had reported that she had been tormenting and taunting some of the neighbors. So it's like, oh, she has a pattern of this. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I got something similar if I can. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was the neighbors. It was the neighbor. It was other things where she was in trouble for speaking her mind, what have you. I think there was a lot of. She was basically. I'm getting all. I don't know if she was a Trump follower, but I'm getting all that energy.
They claim because they used it against her that she voted for Hillary.
But it's the same energy. It's that racist, sexist, awful, belligerent, So she was already kind of like if sometimes if you correct one cat, they'll turn around and like go jump on the other cat to like. So the neighbors were complaining about her, which was upsetting her. This was ongoing, and she just went farther and farther down the crazy internet into persecution and I shouldn't be treated this way and so when she was confronted with the truth, which is a simple, hey, could you put your dog on a leash, she's being absolutely persecuted. It's not the sort of truth. It's absolute complete oppression because she had been going down this rabbit hole from her reaction to her own actions earlier. That's what I'm getting.
Tower, Five of Pentacles, Injustice. Things have been going ill for a minute. Things had been going rough. She's been struggling. And at that point, she wanted to take action to her own hands. She was tired of being the victim in her mind. Things have been going real rogue for a while. So this was a whoopsies. This is a ticking time bomb. I'm going to pull some more cards. I didn't even need to pull any more after that. I was like, yeah, that pretty much sums that up. What you got, Johnny?
I guess she was losing personally pretty much everything. I don't know if she had a small business, but she was losing that too. I get the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. There was something in the family that was also starting to deteriorate. Like you said earlier, something in her neighborhood as well with that 10 of Pentacles. Because that's my real estate card. So there was something in her neighborhood that was maybe, let's get her out of here, or maybe they turned their back on her. The Fool and the 9 of Cups. This is where I get maybe she had a business of sorts with the 9 of Pentacles too, that maybe she was losing. I did runes, and the first two were money cards, Fehu and Gebel. This is gifts and this is money. Then I get Algis. This is something warding away. So it's like something was moving away from her. And I think she was just beginning to lose everything. There was also a change in her moral compass with the Death card and the Hierophant. So I think she was becoming extreme, or she was becoming an extremist, or she was becoming unraveled. And so, yeah. I think this was just a deterioration of her life, and it's going to keep going that way too.
Yeah.
Throat chakra, sacral chakra, root chakra, third eye, and heart chakra. And there's some repeats here. So yeah, she was coming unglued, ungrounded. She wasn't feeling safe, wasn't feeling connected to Mama Earth. And because of that, her heart, she was taking things too seriously too with sacral chakra. Not enough play, not enough joy. And throat chakra, this is how she was able to exert her power. With those kind of deficiencies, I just don't think you could go to 2 months of race therapy and call yourself cured, but that's just me.
No, you can't. That's not how this works.
That's just not how this works. Yes, ma'am.
Could we read on one more thing, unless you've got more?
No, go ahead, because I'm done with all the questions.
I just, if it's possible, if you guys wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
The grand jury in New York. Is this just going to drag out and drag on and drag on and drag on? Or are we going to, is there going to be some indictments? If you don't mind me asking.
Yep. So the question is this going to just, will we get indictments from the grand jury?
Yes, and sometime, this decade. I mean, it's just, or is this going to be one of those things where they're going to extend it past 6 months, and there's going to be another, and it's going to, and it's just like, you've got to be kidding me.
We have set the trial date for January 1st, 2029.
Yeah.
Can we move this up a little bit, please?
Mm-hmm. What are you guys getting?
There's a new action around documents, Ace of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. I mean, the Ace of Wands and Page of Pentacles. So there's your document there. There's some new action around it. The Queen of Wands is my judge card, and the Six of Pentacles is sharing time, money, information, paper, whatever the case may be. Justice, Three of Cups. The environment is the Two of Swords. So there will be some delay, but they do have something to pass out. The problem is, it's not really a problem. It's just expected. The other side, of course, has some things they want to fight back on, Five of Wands. So that's what causes the delay and the pushback and whatever. But yes, we get some indictments. There's a judge and they're passing it out there.
Yep.
Good.
There's something that comes out. I got a whole bunch of cards that, at the base of this is Three of Swords. The crown is the Ten of Swords. It starts with the Five of Swords. So let's just say a whole bunch of shenanigans, bull crap, and buffoonery. It's not looking good. I'm taking it for Trump. It is crossed by the Ace of Cups, though, so this overflowing emotion. I do get, however, in the immediate future is this change in perspective, and the outcome is the sun. So yes, something being illuminated. I do think we will get indictments.
Anytime in a reasonable amount of time. Okay.
I think so.
Because what I'm getting is
Sooner.
there's so much to get through. There's so much paper. There's so much, and it's all right. In this instance of fraud, there's this piece. All right, how does it fit into the puzzle? This is the grand jury, and they're making decisions one by one by one, but it adds up. So when it finally, they kind of come out, there's like a big long list when it finally comes out. But if you're like on the ground, it's, even though they're meeting 3 times a week, even though there's just Aspie Third Eye. Yes, there's a mountain of evidence to sift through. That's what I'm getting. When it comes out, it'll do some damage, but
I say 5 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think it's
5 weeks. Wow.
Because Cy Vance is announced he's trying to retire in fall, around October. So I think he wants to get this dog on the show. Kick this pony down the horse. I just made up a whole bunch of sayings. I'm gonna make a shirt. Get this dog on the horse.
I like that.
What the hell is that?
It's like one of those things where you say, is that a word? If I understood it, it's a word.
It's a word.
Because all the words you speak were made up by somebody. So if I understood it, it's a word. If I understood your saying, then it's a new saying.
Oh, that was bad. Oh gosh. That was bad. That was absolutely bad. That's so funny. Johnny, as always, thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely.
Autumn, thank you so much. I'm gonna do it right this time. For being here.
Thank you. I'm used to being over there. I just want to say there was a question. Marie saying adjust your AC to me because you've got to be cold. It's actually 55 degrees Fahrenheit here in Chicago. I've actually got windows open. That's why I'm wearing this. So it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely.
Nice. It's hotter than a dog's butt in July.
It was nice here because it's been raining. It's 71. And the sun is gone to the other side of the world and it's still 71. But that's why you have groceries delivered. That's all I guess.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
80s in Florida, and I come to DC and it's like freaking 90 something. I was like, what? Disrespectful stuff.
I was not ready for this.
You guys, thank you for joining us again. Thanks to all 300, and I think we had 384 at one point of you all coming in. Thank you so very, very much. Thanks to everybody who super chatted me. That generosity we return to you tenfold. Thanks to the moderators. We will all see you later. So thanks again for tuning in, and you guys have a blessed, safe night. Bye, guys.
See you Saturday.
And Autumn will see you tomorrow.
Yep.
There you go. Bye, guys.